Just like, no, that's not me. You really don't want to believe it for a while, but eventually you have to. You either have to or you die. This is Xyla with an X from the Star System, and here's my show, Coffee and Tea, where I just drink some coffee and I spill all the tea I can about whatever the hell it is I'd like to complain about today. And thank you for hanging out. I just want to say a special thank you to any systems out there that are watching. You're totally real. You're not making it up. You can do this. I'm going to talk about DID. I'm not going to try to prove it to you, because if you don't believe us, ask the dishes. I'm going to talk about DID in the context of Moon Knight. I haven't given the show a grade yet. I'm holding off till the very end so that I can give them a fair shake. I already did the first one. Check that out if you'd like to. And here comes the second one. Bing bong. Moon Knight episode 2. Summon the suit. The way the DID is represented in media, DID is never represented with respect, which is really irresponsible and ultimately violent. So Mark Spector in the comics is Moon Knight. Again, basically just Batman for Marvel. Sociopathic martyr complex and a bank account. It was later retconned that Mark Spector was an aspect of a DID system. We're going to use the word alter. Some folks don't love that. The DID community is trying to find common ground in terms of nomenclature, multiples, plurals. We don't love split personality, so it's not one personality that splits. It really is the fact of the matter that there are multiple souls in here. There are multiple people in here that arose from necessity. This is Stephen Grant. Oh, I love this. You're looking in the mirror and you're checking to see if anybody else is there. You're just like, no? Okay. It's a real feeling. That's the thing about this. It's like, as a trans person, is Hedwig and the Angry Inch awesome representation? Absolutely not. But does it have elements that ring true? Yeah. Does this have elements of DID that they obviously did their homework? Obviously. Is it perfect? No. DID in the movies has always got a murderer alter. Factual data reflects that folks that are systems have exactly the same likelihood as everyone else of being a serial killer. No more, no less. Here's one of the weirdest feelings. When you see yourself on video, body-wise, but you're not the person who's behind the eyes. That's exactly the feeling. You're looking at the video and you're just like, no, that's not me. You really don't want to believe it for a while, but eventually you have to. You either have to or you die.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
It's like part of the problem, isn't it?
Finding shit in your pockets, you don't know where that came from. Very relatable. Having no frame of reference to explain your behavior, also relatable. So we've got a very militarized little barracks cell here in the storage thing. They wouldn't let you put that in there. How many homeless people could just sleep in these things if they did let you do that? What if everybody got to sleep inside? Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, it's totally real.
Am I possessed?
Yes. The body is possessed by the god of the moon, Khonshu. DID is not possession. I don't care how bloody handsome you are. We do talk about how we're gorgeous in the mirror, for sure. So in the comic, I guess Khonshu picked the system because there was already the system. This is a very mild panic attack. When we have a panic attack, it is nothing like as chill as this. There's no amount of medication you can take to make alters go away. But then he runs down the street and there's Layla.
I'm still your wife.
I'm still your wife. I don't know if they've got like a polyamorous thing, but if Mark Spector is asking hot museum ladies on dates like he did in the last episode, but he's married, that's another thing that the system would have to take responsibility for. And that's one of the tropes, so like the bisexual trope, where it's like, oh, if they're attracted to any other gender but me, they're gonna cheat. Or if they're a system, they're gonna cheat. It's disrespectful to have this be the only, like, I don't care if this exists. Make more of it. What I do care about is representation. There needs to be proportionately more material that has a respectful, realistic portrayal of DID. And there are more systems around than you think. Where Mark's talking to Steven while he's trying to do something, folks really don't like it when you tell them you don't remember something because they take it really personally. And that's one of the most heartbreaking parts of having any sort of amnesia.
It's not me.
Mark Spector. Here's what they did to the archaeologists. ZIPTIED. He's shot in the back of the head.
So there you go. A murder altar, zip-tied and shot in the back of the head. That's the only way we get on TV. I'm gonna be looking for movies that prove me wrong. Please suggest them in the comments.
I'm curious, do you think that Khonshu chose you as his avatar because your mind would be so easy to break, or because it was broken already?
That is a trope, which I also hate. Your mind is broken, your mind is shattered. That's just not a metaphor that sits well with us as a system, with me as a Xyla.
You're a vegan, right?
You're a vegan, right? I had a steak on Sunday, we know that. Summon suit.
What are you saying? The suit?
Get the murder altar. Get the murder one. Jackal demon. Ooh. Oh, and then he falls down on Black Widow. So that's cool. I guess every different altar might pull out a different weapon. Having another altar come up to do a specific thing is definitely something that a lot of systems do. We definitely do that. Mark takes control of the body. It's really cool looking. And then there's the obligatory urban parkour scene. Oh, we lost the beetle. Yeah, well, that blood is on my hands. That's system responsibility right there. While we never actually broke a mirror, we've definitely had loud arguments in a mirror before. Several.
Should we part? You may not like my next candidate.
So altars die with the body. If this body dies and Khonshu keeps going, it's a possession. And here's Stephen waking up all strange, but not Stephen Strange. And then he's in Egypt, and that's that. The show is representing aspects of DID that are relatable to us as a system, but it's possession, which isn't real, and it's murder. The costumes are awesome. The acting is fine. I love superheroes. I love when they kill the bad guys, but I don't love it when the only media with DID systems in it is murder, 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 and then I didn't do it. It's tired. It's so tired. The fact that Oscar Isaac also produced this makes me feel that he really wanted this as an acting challenge. Why is this important? Why do we care about whether or not DID is real? I'll tell you why. Because trauma is real. Trauma has happened to every single person in the entire world. And if it happens a lot, it becomes a disorder usually. But yeah, the cycle of abuse is caused by folks ignorant of their trauma. People need to believe that trauma is real in order for it to be dealt with. People need to believe that intense trauma comes with very unique circumstances, some of which are occupying a single body with several consciousnesses. That's a real thing that actually happens. Systems won't believe that they are systems for years, decades in our case, because they're scared of that. Because they're scared there's a secret murderer. Because they're scared folks will abandon them. They don't have to feel scared of themselves because that's the only frame of reference that you have. Frame of reference is really what it's about. Picture this. When we as a system came out as transgender to our father, the first thing he said was, oh, like Jazz. Referencing, of course, the trans girl on TLC, but Jazz is a trans girl, and he had that frame of reference for us, and so it was way easier for him to move into that place with his brain. Whereas if I was trying to, from the very ground up, describe what it is to be transgender, it's not going to happen in the same way. There's such a shorthand that comes with media representation. There's such a fast forward in terms of what conversations need to happen if you do have accurate representation of things. What we're here as a system to do is try to give DID a better media representation. We're going to be hilarious, glib, gorgeous, talented, and adorable as hard as we can so that systems don't feel alone. Thanks so much for hanging out. It was great. And if you're a system, keep on trucking. You can do this. You're amazing. And I love you. So if you want to see other stars' takes on things, if you want to just kind of catch the vibe of what it is to be around, what it is to be the star system, subscribe, subscribe, share, subscribe, and like. If you wanna, why not? You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Patreon. Just like it. Keep it real. This is Xyla with an X. Goodbye.